That's weird. I wasn't expecting that at all. Hi, my name is Frank. Welcome back to channel 33 RPM, your channel for vinyl gear and more. So I want to say this up front, this video is purely for entertainment purposes. I'm really doing it just for fun because last week I did this video reviewing the new IKEA record player and I was quite surprised at this record player because it's not what I expected. I expected something more. And really it's almost like a prop. In the comments when I did the review, some people said it's like an IKEA prop, and it is. It's so light. So I thought, well, I wonder how it compares to the Victrola. And funny enough, the Victrola actually feels like a hefty record player compared to this. This is like, this is light as a feather, man. There's nothing to this. And the Victrola, it sounds so odd to say this Victrola all-in-one has more heft to it. It just seems, it seems better built. It seems more like a toy, which I never thought I would see. So let's compare these two and see if we can figure out if one is better than the other, or if at least one of these offers more value.
Love vinyl? Tell the world with a Channel 33 RPM t-shirt. Check out the Channel 33 RPM store today.
All right, let's start with this IKEA record player. This is gonna be partially a refresher. If you missed my initial video, I'll leave a link in the description below, so go check it out. These, IKEA just launched these in October. They sell for $199 in Canada, $169 in the US, 129 euros in Europe, obviously, and 129 pounds in the UK. They're almost all plastic. They come with a felt mat. The platter is this really lightweight plastic. It's the size, it's almost the size of a record, but it's really lightweight. It's belt drive, there's a belt in there. It's got an aluminum tone arm, so that's something. And it's got an Audio-Technica AT3600L cartridge. That cartridge on its own retails for like 25, 35 bucks. It's not fantastic, but it's okay. It has a built-in preamp. You can't turn the preamp on or off though, so this is really meant to go along with some powered speakers. In comparison, the Victrola, I mean, depends where you are in the world. These can sell for like 40 bucks up to like maybe 80 bucks. I paid, from what I remember, I think $45 Canadian for this in the Amazon warehouse. It's mostly plastic as well, right? It's mostly plastic. It's got, I'm tongue-tied. It has a plastic platter. It's not full size. It has, I guess that's aluminum. I don't know, maybe that's plastic. I was gonna say it's aluminum, actually. I don't know. It's got a ceramic cartridge, so off the bat, the cartridge on the IKEA record player is gonna be a little bit better. It's got a headphone jack, comes with a 45 adapter. This one has a built-in speaker, or speakers, not very good. This one doesn't. The IKEA one is obviously much more basic, but in theory, I would think would perform better, right? At least it's got the aluminum tone arm and it has the better cartridge. So in terms of how can we compare these? I mean, we know this one costs much more than this one. We know this one's got more heft to it, but the specs on this one, at least on paper, are much better. The tone arm on this one weighs about 2.75 grams. The tone arm on this one weighs over 5 grams, so this one is a lot more heavier. A lot of people claim that these all-in-one record players destroy records, destroy vinyl. I think that's been greatly exaggerated. I mean, okay, anytime you play a record on any record player, it's going to wear the record out, right? This one will, in theory, probably wear your record out faster just because the tone arm is heavier. So in theory, yeah. You'd have to listen to it you'd have to listen to a record many times to notice the difference though. So what I want to do first is I want to get some measurements off of this one. I want to measure how fast it's spinning, and I want to measure the wow and flutter, or at least the wow. And the wow is a measurement of how close, how good the record player is at keeping a consistent speed. So for the test, I'm going to use this RPM Speed and Wow app on my Android phone. Now, I used this app last week when testing this, but as some people pointed out to me, I should try to get it right over the center spindle, which I'm going to do today, and we'll see the impact this has on the speed test. Let's start the speed test. Okay, here we go. Let's see what the results we're getting off of this are. So This is holding a speed of 33.74. That's a little bit different than last week. So by positioning it in the middle, we got a slightly different readout, so it's going a bit fast. And in terms of the wow, actually this did really well, 0.11. So again, the wow is a measure of how good the record player is at keeping a consistent speed, and at 0.11, basically anything less than 0.20 is good. So this is actually holding a really consistent speed, spinning a bit fast, but it is holding a consistent speed. So let's try the same test on the Victrola. I've never done a speed test on this record player on the Victrola, so I have no idea what to expect here. So let's try it out. Okay, let's see what we got here. So this is interesting. On the IKEA, the app told us it was spinning at an average RPM of 33.74, which is a bit fast. This one, according to the app, is telling me that the Victrola is spinning at 30.74. And there's a warning that even appeared on the app saying not a real turntable speed. In terms of a wow reading, it says error, speed seems incorrect. So this app is so confused by the Victrola. It's saying, this is impossible, man. This can't be happening. So that's weird. I wasn't expecting that at all. Why don't we try to do another speed test on here? Maybe I messed something up, because the app doesn't even believe that this can be so bad. Okay, that first one must have been a fluke. All right, so on this one, I'm getting 33.55 this time, which again is a little fast. Not horrible, it's actually better than I expected for this little Victrola all-in-one. The wow reading though is 0.54. So what that means is it's within the range that the speed is so inconsistent that if you hear long notes, you can hear them kind of warbling, right? That the speed inconsistency could be audible to the ear. Again, it's 0.54. They say anything over 0.20 is audible to the ear. So on the speed test, it didn't do that poorly, but on the wow reading, it's not great, right? This one performs far better. What I actually want to try doing on here, I want to try spinning a control record on this one and on this one to see, even if through the microphone and my camera, if we can tell the difference in sound quality, because ultimately any test between any two record players, any two audio systems, any two whatever boils down to ears, right? And what you like and what you think sounds good. So I don't know how this is going to work out. We're doing this on YouTube using a microphone, so this maybe you can't even tell any difference. But let's try to play a passage on this one and then on this one, and let's see what happens. By the way, for the sake of this experiment, I'm using a pair of Edifier bookshelf powered speakers, and I'll use the same speakers on both of these, so at least that'll be a common denominator. We are going to try this record from this UK band called the Penny Dreadfuls. My speakers are not set up properly, I get it. I got limited room here. There's one speaker here, there's one speaker behind me. This is, as I said, this is not a scientific sort of experiment. This is more just for fun. I'm really curious. I'm really curious. So there we go. There was record one. The problem with this, the platter on the IKEA record player, is that it is slightly warped. And you probably could see that when the record was playing. The record had some movement going on. So that's not a good thing. Now let's try out the Victrola. All right, I've heard enough, but let's do this one more time. I'm going to play those again. I'm going to A-B them. Listen carefully and tell me if you can hear any difference.
Said there's nothing
So I don't know if what I'm hearing here translates out in YouTube land just using a microphone, but from my perspective, yes, the IKEA record player sounds much better than the Victrola. And the Victrola has performed better than I thought, particularly when plugged into external speakers. So I will give it that. But the IKEA one, to my ears, sounded better. Neither of these were great, though. Neither of these are going to bring you to vinyl nirvana or anything like that. Personally, I mean, these serve a role, right? They can help a newcomer get into vinyl, that kind of thing. They're not for serious music listeners, obviously, but it can help people get into the hobby. That said, there are far better deals out there for people wanting to get into vinyl. Is more, you can get more bang for your buck. In the last video, I mentioned for the same price or less as the IKEA record player, you could get an Audio-Technica LP60, which comes with way more features. But if you are serious about getting into vinyl, you could spend a little bit more and get one of the entry-level options from a company like Fluence or U-Turn Audio, maybe even pro-ject. I'm not sure what their lowest end record players start at, but any of those would be a better option than these two. That said, that wasn't the point of this video. The point was comparing these two to see if the IKEA record player is better than the Victrola record player. And yes, dear 33ers, I would say it is. If you have made it this far in this video, you obviously have an interest in these record players. You should check out this video my daughter did reviewing the Victrola. I'll see you there in a couple of minutes. Until then, dear 33ers, keep on spinning.